I can argue now if there's 4,000 nurses that are actively seeking employment in 2025, with what is going on plus the plus the cuts and layoffs, I would argue na mas marami po ngayon ang naghahanap ng trabaho and wala silang trabaho.
Hey guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. Alam nyo, ang tagal ko nang gusto gawa ng episode itong topic na ito. Tanungin nyo pa tong ating guest, no? Tagal ko na siyang nire-request to discuss this very important issue with me, and finally, no, okay na, nandito na siya. Ano ba tong issue na ito? Well, ang dami pong reports that nurses are being laid off. Kung hindi po laid off, ang pagkakaintindi ko, kumbaga, yung mga job vacancy supposedly for them, kinakat na rin, ano? So, nababawasan yung mga available jobs for them. This is worrisome because, as we know, IRCC, the Canadian government, continues to invite nurses to come to Canada, to work here, and yet this is a situation. Okay? But of course, more importantly, yung mga nurses na nandito na rin, no? Nandito na rin. Ano nangyayari sa kanila? I'm sure they have concerns about, what is going on, what is ahead. Yan po ang ating pag-uusapan. Kasama ang nagbabalik sa ating channel. It's been a while. Thank you so much finally, no? Jeremy Pantig. Isa po siyang member ng Integrated Filipino-Canadian Nurses Association. But more importantly, no, he is a nurse advocate. Welcome back, Jeremy.
Maraming salamat po, ma'am. Yeah, it's been a while, ma'am, and we're really itching to comment on the situation. However, ma'am, before we start, sana, I would like to say my thanks to you, ma'am, for giving us the platform to continuously advocate for our nurses, ma'am. Ma'am, because of you, ma'am, we're able to reach a wide range of audience, including internationally educated nurses, our Filipino community, and the decision makers that has influenced changes in nursing po, ano? And looking back on our work, ma'am, we were able to open doors, ma'am, for larger platforms and even awards and recognition. So thank you for so much, ma'am, for everything that you do.
Talaga ba? Hindi ko alam yan. Sinabi mo sa akin na yan ngayon lang, ha? Talaga. Oy, I'm so happy to hear that. Which reminds me, oy, congratulations to you, Jem, ha? Nakikita ko sa mga Facebook posts mo. Ang dami po ni Jeremy nakukuha ng mga recognition for what he is doing for the nursing community, no? So I'm so happy again. Thank you so much at meron kang oras for this channel ngayon.
Salamat, ma'am. Salamat. You too, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for always being there for us.
Guys, pasensya na. I think there's a little lag sa linya namin ni Jeremy, no? Pasensya na kayo. But anyway, before I ask Jem yung mga questions natin, let me share with you yung batayan po ng discussion natin na ito. I will share with you guys some news reports, tapos articles, media releases from nursing organizations talking about this situation, what is happening. And Jem, I noticed sa Ontario, ang pinakamaraming statements about the cuts happening, layoffs happening. So puntahan natin guys yung website ng CNO. Right? Ayan. Meron silang dedicated page pa nga para dito. Nurse and Healthcare Cuts in Ontario. And they are saying, mula January 2025, 1,551 positions have been cut. Yan. Ontario's public healthcare system is in crisis. It's getting worse. Frontline nurse cuts are happening across our province. Tapos puntahan natin yung ilang mga press release nila over the past months. Ito yung latest, nakita ko to, August 19, 2026. May issue about cuts happening sa Queensway Carleton Hospital. Okay, and then ito pa, for example, cutting 288 RNs at London Health Sciences Center. Sabi dito, it will devastate acute care and increase wait times. Okay, isa pa to. Unifor, yung union, Unifor demands Nova Scotia government reverse nursing home staffing cuts. So it's not just happening in hospitals, kahit sa mga nursing homes. Okay, so guys, ayan, bumalik ulit si Jem, ano guys, nawala lang siya sandali. Anyway, ilan lang po ito sa mga reports na makikita ninyo online if you do your own research. I've been seeing many of these reports since earlier this year. Paano, Jem? So, ano ba ang katotohanan dito, Jeremy? Tell me, ano ba ang reality on the ground?
So layoffs tam are real. They're definitely real. But on top of those layoffs po, meron tayong approximately 1,500 plus po na cuts in nursing positions all over the province. However po, we need to distinguish what is the difference between cuts and layoffs. Ano?
Okay.
Yung po kasing cuts, this means po that the position is eliminated, pero yung nurse po is not terminated yet. And then we have layoffs po where the actual nurse is terminated po. Yun po yung difference between the two. However po, we need to keep in mind that these cuts may eventually lead to layoffs or displacement, although we don't have the actual numbers of layoffs yet.
Okay. So what is happening both? At this point pareho, may nalilay-off talaga at merong yung cuts na yung
Yes
mga
po.
position hindi na finifill ng bagong worker, kumbaga ganun.
Yes po. So ang problema po doon, once a position gets cut po, what happens is we're dealing with the same number of patients, uh, sometimes even more, but there will be fewer nurses that are available to work. Yun po yung pinaka-problema doon. And of course po, it's concerning kasi we're compromising the safety of our patients and the safety of the nurses as well.
Yes.
And unfortunately po, there's also discussions po sa sa website natin with the unions na there's another rounds of cuts po that are going to happen in the future. So this is a very unfortunate situation for sure.
Oh. Although I've been seeing more of these press releases from the nursing organization sa Ontario. Is it can you tell us if it's also happening sa ibang mga probinsya rin? Parang may nakita rin ako isa, I think in Alberta, talking about mga staffing shortage, which I think is related to this also. Tama ba?
Yes, ma'am. There's a couple of province po, including BC, na meron din po silang ganyang problema. And usually, ma'am, it's the same problem. It's staffing issues, it's workload issues po. Yun po yung mga usual na problema natin na nangyayari, which is very common po sa nursing.
Right.
Yeah, and all over the ano po siya. It's different provinces as well are involved.
Oo. And what's really frustrating, Jeremy, is we all know about the long wait times problem in hospitals. And people expect that the government is working on solving that. And yet, we see these reports. Okay? How do you feel as nurses? Paano yung impact nito sa nurse na nandun pa rin sa ospital pag nakikita nila na hindi na dadagdagan yung workforce nila? At the same time, laging naririnig na Canada, invite ng mga bagong nurse, pumunta kayo dito, may kailangan daw sila, and then this is what's happening.
Yes, ma'am. It's very frustrating po, ano. Especially ano po kasi yan, ano. This problem is not, we did not cause this problem. Hindi po natin ito pong financial pressure po na to, nurses did not cause it, but we're the one paying it on the bedside, unfortunately. And as I've told you po, we have the same number of and sometimes less number of nurses, and then we have mas maraming mga pasyente. At the same time, they're more acute. Ngayon, with lesser staff po, it's basically po, ang question po dito is basically it's a safety issue at this point po. Hindi na po siya nursing issue, it's a safety issue po sa pasyente natin. So I think that framing will be echoed better in the community. Kasi which is true naman. Ang personal na grief ko po is they think na we're always advocating for nurses. But that's not true po kasi when you advocate for nurses, you're also advocating for the patient automatically. Kasi once a nurse is overworked, hindi po siya makakapag-function ng maayos. And of course, we're all human beings. We need safer we need the safe working conditions. Kapag ka po ganun ang ginawa natin sa mga nurses natin, we're overworked and we're stretched too thin, of course, yung pong care na kaya nilang i-provide is very limited. And of course, because of that, it becomes a patient safety issue.
Oo. I agree. I totally agree. You talked about financial pressures. Ayan ano, para po maintindihan, Jem, ng mga viewers natin. Why is this happening? Yung sinasabi mong financial pressures. Ano ang paliwanag sa inyo, no? Ng ospital kung bakit nangyayari itong layoffs or job cuts?
Yung po kasing financial pressure, if you're going to look at it po, yung kasing the decision makers po, they added more budgets to the hospital. But the problem is it sustainable? Can it keep up with the pace po na mga tinitingnan natin ng mga pasyente?
Okay
Opo.
guys, no, since napuputol po si Jeremy, nag-shift siya sa laptop. I hope okay itong signal dito. Alright, sige, let's continue our discussion na Jeremy. Okay ka na ba? Are you ready?
Oh, yun po. Yun nga, ma'am. I think that was the last part was recorded, ma'am. Pero just to reiterate, ma'am, yun nga po, there is an increase in budget. Ang problema po natin doon is it enough to keep up with the pace po? Kagaya nga po ng sinasabi ko is we have an increasing number of population and then we have an aging population plus a lot of immigrations po, syempre. We don't have enough staff po and facilities to accommodate them all. That's why po yung healthcare system natin is blowing in the seams. Kaya ano po, I think that's an important question po that we need to tell our decision makers or ask our decision makers is to ano po, is it going to keep up with the pace? Ano po, yes, you give that, binigyan nyo kami ng mas malaking budget, pero sapat ba tong budget na to with what is really happening on the ground?
Okay. Jeremy, anong nangyayari dun sa mga nurses na nalilay off to be specific, no? Lalo na. Una, akala ko, di ba, malalakas yung mga union dito. Can they easily be laid off talaga? And then, kung nangyari na talaga, can you share with us stories perhaps of what they end up doing?
So, I think po we need to really look at this very carefully kasi it depends po on the organization po, no? Kung ano po yung mangyayari. So, una-una po, usually ang nangyayari is these nurses are displaced from their unit kasi nga po yung position nila got cut or eliminated. And then what end up happening is they float around different areas of the hospital. So, after you float in different areas of the hospital, ang gagawin po nila is they will try to find you a temporary position and then they're going to find you a permanent home unit. However, ma'am, kung hindi sila makahanap ng permanent unit para sa'yo kasi nga less yung seniority mo, what end up happening is you get laid off, unfortunately. So yun na po yung mali-lay off ka. And ngayon po, syempre, even if a nurse is laid off or is laid off from the hospital, it does not mean that they leave the profession. What actually happened is we're losing experienced nurses from the public system. Ang nakakapagtaka po is we know that our healthcare system is struggling with staffing and we need to ask whether ang ginagawa lang natin is are we solving the staffing issue or are we simply moving nurses around? So yun po yung pinaka-problema dito.
I'm sure there are ongoing talks also between people like you, yung mga nurse advocates, yung IFCNA, with hospital management, as well as government officials concerned. Can you give us any update or is there anything you can share with us tungkol sa kung ano yung pinaparating ninyo na mensahe sa mga taong nasa posisyon?
Opo, yun nga po, there's ongoing talks definitely po and this is usually between po yung management ng organization, example the hospital and even the unions po kasi yung po kasing natin, may mga contracts po tayo, may mga may mga and they need to follow those contracts. So there's ongoing talks. And for us to understand yung long-term workforce plan nila is medyo we're not into kumbaga hindi mas maganda po siguro kung ang hospital lang magsalita regarding this sustainability kasi kami din po we're also asking bakit ganito. This is not a sustainable technique or yung mga decisions natin para sa staffing natin para ma-staff yung hospitals. Yung pong in our part naman po, including IFCNA, we've been talking a lot with MPPs po with regards to the situation. And of course, we're really asking for help para sana ma-mitigate tong situations na to. Kasi nga, of course ma'am, ano po kasi ito po yung ano natin, kumbaga bread and butter natin. And we need to protect it as well. Kumbaga, kailangan din natin protektahan yung sarili natin at saka yung mga pasyente natin, of course, in the process. But of course ma'am, there's definitely ongoing talks between them. I don't think I can disclose more, ma'am. I think it's going to be between the hospitals and the unions
All
at
right.
this point.
Oh, bilang nurse advocate, Jem, meron bang mga kababayan tayong nurse na lumalapit sa'yo, nagtatanong, lalo na baka yung gusto palang mag-Canada, wala pa dito. What do you tell them when they ask you, Jem, ano, pupunta pa ba ako dyan? Nag-lay off daw ng mga nurse. Bakit sinasabi ng Canada na kailangan nila? Should I still pursue, my Canadian dream of becoming a nurse there? Yung mga ganun. Ano sinasabi mo?
Opo, marami pong, actually po marami regarding staffing din po at saka yung paghahanap po ng trabaho. Kagaya nga po ng sinabi ko sa inyo, we've been talking about this since 2025, yung nga pong difficulty in finding a job in Canada. We've been talking about this. Actually, ma'am, if you remembered po, we projected po ito kasi with the recent report po, there's 4,000 plus nurses na, or in 2025, there were 4,000 plus nurses na naghahanap ng employment sa Canada. And unfortunately, they can't find one. So that is in September 2025. So imagine po ngayon, we have newly grads, we have yung pong mga natin, bagong registered natin na internationally educated nurses. So it's really hard to find a job right now. And this is the unfortunate situation that is happening in the ground. Kasi nga po, marami tayong staff pero kulang tayo sa mga facilities to accommodate this staff. And definitely po, absolutely, Canada needs more nurses. But getting licensed and finding a sustainable employments are two different questions. For internationally educated nurses, the Canadian dream should not be presented simply as, oh, you should come to Canada and we'll find a nursing job for you immediately. The reality po is way more complicated. So, yung pong mga kababayan natin or internationally educated nurses that are trying to migrate in Canada, they need to understand the licensing requirement, yung pong provincial healthcare system, and of course, the realities of the job market. And the fact, this fact po can be true at the same time. Employers can simultaneously experience staffing pressure while reducing the positions in certain areas of the hospital or any facilities. So my message po sa ating mga kababayan, sa ating mga Filipino friends is come in prepared, come in informed, and come with realistic expectation. Don't just come because somebody promised you it's an easy pathway. Kailangan pong i-research yung process and understand the realities kung ano po yung nangyayari. Kagaya nga po ng sinasabi ko, I can argue now if there's 4,000 nurses that are actively seeking employment in 2025, with what is going on plus the possible plus the cuts and layoffs, I would argue na mas marami po ngayon nang naghahanap ng trabaho and wala silang trabaho. Actually po, we've received certain reports po na there are nurses that are seeking employment po 6 months. 6 months na, wala pa silang mahanap na trabaho and sometimes even a year na wala silang nursing job after them being registered. So it's a very unfortunate situation po. And this is happening po hindi lang sa isang tao. This is the general nursing po ngayon. Kumbaga yung job market ng nursing, ito po yung reality natin.
Okay, paano naman sa mga kababayan nating employed, worried, no, that they might be affected later on? I mean, we don't know how long or kung marami bang rounds of layoffs. It depends, I guess, where you are or if it even reached to you, no? Ano ang mensahe mo sa kanila? Yung mga nahihirapan sa staffing shortage, lalo na rin, Jem.
Po, I think po at this point, number one po is kasi po the situation now is very kumbaga unpredictable yung situation. Hindi natin alam kung saan manggagaling yung cuts or anong mga facilities or hospitals pa ang maapektuhan in the future. But yung pong dito is sigurado merong maapektuhan pa. My advice po is if you have a nursing position now, keep it. Kasi you'll keep your seniority. Kasi at this point po is always seniority kasi usually pong nalilay off sa atin yung mga less seniors. So even if a nurse that is senior is displaced, pagka po nagkaroon na ng discussions and hindi ka talaga mahanapan ng position, what end up happening is they displace a lesser senior nurse for a senior nurse. So that is very unfortunate. So ngayon po, if you're currently working in a facility or hospital, it is very prudent po now to keep your job at the moment. Keep your job at the moment and preserve your seniority para hindi ka masyadong maapektuhan sa mga nangyayari. Yun po, Miss Ina.
Oo. Dun sa issue ng affected yung sa staffing shortage, overload, no? Work overload for nurses. Do you have a message for them too?
Opo, ito nga po minsan po kasi when we're trying to advocate for nurses, they think that we're only advocating for nurses. Ang hindi po nila alam is when we're advocating for nurses, we're automatically advocating for our patients as well. Because every one of us po, we deserve safe working conditions, and this safe working conditions po is congruent to the care that we provide for the safety of our patients. And now, ma'am, ako naman, I really salute yung pong mga kasama nating nurses, especially mga Filipino nurses, because we're very hardworking. And I've never seen a Filipino nurse na hindi hardworking. All of us are really hardworking. We go the extra mile. Sometimes we skip meals, ang aga-aga natin sa unit, tapos late pa tayong uuwi. Just for our patients not to suffer. However po, if we keep on doing this po, we keep on covering the gaps. And if you keep on covering the gaps, no one will see the actual problem. Hindi po nila makikita na may actual problem na nangyayari. If it's an unsafe working condition, then you need to report this situation to the management and the union so that everybody's aware that we need help. What you need to do is, if it's unsafe, you file grievances. So we don't hide this working condition, because kapag hinahide po natin itong mga unsafe na working conditions na linalagay sa plato natin, then they think it's functional and they're not going to do anything. Remember po, we need to take care of ourselves first so that we can continue to serve our patient. We need to go home to our family safe. And of course, we need to protect our license so we can continuously serve. Ito po because if we want meaningful change, we have to stop hiding the problem by constantly carrying it ourselves.
Baka sabihin nila, I'm sure, lalo na sa mga bago siguro na nurse, Jem, they might say, baka mapahamak ako, Jem, kung ilimit ko yung pagiging hardworking ko, mag-report ako ng mga problema, hindi ba ako mapapahamak dyan? Mga ganun. Takot sila.
Opo, I definitely understand, ma'am, and I think, ma'am, kasi yan I think it's one thing Filipinos po kasi pagka po you say something, akala nila you're complaining. You're not complaining po. Saying something is actually being professional, and saying something to address an unsafe working condition is actually beneficial sa'yo at saka sa pasyente natin. Kasi ma'am, there are several studies that suggest that if you add more work at saka more patients to what is you're supposed to handle as a nurse, there's a sudden increase in mortality and morbidity of your patients and a lot of possible complications. And these are several studies po. Kaya kailangan po as nurses, we need to advocate for ourselves and our patients as well. Hindi lang po para sa atin to, tandaan nyo. If you are advocating for yourself as a nurse, kasi yung working condition nyo is nakakapagod talaga, kailangan nyo ng tulong, then you're also advocating for your patients.
Yan, I agree, And this is Canada. Canada, di ba, Jeremy? They take this seriously. Safety of any worker as they do their job, right? They take these things very seriously. Alright. Last na lang siguro, ikaw ba, baka may panawagan ka rin dyan? Sakali mang umabot tong episode natin sa mga decision makers.
We'll try, ma'am. We'll definitely try. Opo. It's a very po talaga. It's a very we are in this situation, and sana po matulungan tayo ng mga decision makers natin. Although there are ongoing conversations between us and them, I think it's about time really na talaga, kumatok tayo sa mga pinto nila para malaman nila talaga kung ano yung nangyayari sa situation. And I would like to address this, ma'am, in English sana para po para talaga makausap natin ng mabuti yung mga decision makers
Go
natin.
ahead.
If you can give me ma'am a few minutes ma'am for my personal plea ma'am to our decision makers. So ito ma'am although the hospital although the hospitals are provided with additional fundings, the question is it enough? Because nurses did not cause these budget pressures, but we are the ones paying for it. Nurses are asked to care for more patients with fewer staffs, with increasing patient needs. What we're seeing is overcrowding, patients in the hallways, long wait times, and our nurses stretched too thin. And when positions are eliminated like that, this pressure doesn't disappear. Our patients are still there, the workload is still there. And what we need to recognize is that people delivering care, our nurses, cannot continue absorbing the consequences of these financial pressures indefinitely. So my personal plea to our decision makers is we need your help and we need it right now. Please remember that behind every budget is a patient, a nurse, and a family. Because one of these days, any of us, including our patients, our children, or someone that we love, can end up in that hallway. And when that day comes, we should be able to trust that there will be a nurse to take care of them. Again, this crisis was not caused by nurses, but we are the ones paying for it, and we need your help. Yun lang po, Miss Ina.
Okay, sana, no? Sana makarating at umaksyon, no? Yung mga decision makers diyan sa iyong personal plea. On that note, we will end this episode here. Jeremy, maraming salamat, no, for sharing with us your knowledge about what is really happening on the ground. Baka meron po tayong mga viewers who have personal experience din dito. Baka kayo ay isang nurse, affected kayo, concerned kayo sa future ng inyong trabaho, sa job security ninyo. Anything related to this topic, put them down there in the comment section. I would love to hear them, and perhaps, no, we can discuss matters you raised there in a future episode. Thank you so much, Jeremy Pantig, isa pong nurse advocate. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat po.
No?
Opo. Hopefully, ma'am, we'll be able to come with the possible solutions to these situations. And ma'am, thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us this opportunity. And yung platform po ninyo, it always helps us po to reach. We're planning more movements po, but this is the initial one po. Maraming salamat, Miss Ina. Thank you po.
Thanks, guys. We'll end this episode here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!